the network, we are the key, we are the trust the world was waiting to see. Identity rises, authentic and free. Welcome to the world of ENTIFY.
Hi there, and welcome back to Founders Journal. My name is Toby and I'm the founder of ENTIFY, and you can think of ENTIFY as a blockchain cryptographic operating system, and we're using it to protect things, protect everything, most importantly our identity. And I've been talking about how we can also build a new economic model, some new tokenomics, which I'm calling entokenomics, because of this. Because we can also prove money, we can authenticate gold. So gold is the money, and we authenticate it with an ENT token. So one ENT token is 1 milligram of gold. So if you watch the last little series on asset tokenization mechanism, you'll see how the basic thing works. But today I want to talk about tokenizing life. Can we tokenize life? So the answer is yes and no. So here's why. How would we do it? How would we do it anyway? You see, go back to an asset. You have to take the asset and imagine it's a lump of gold. And then you melt down the lump of gold and turn it into gold coins. So you say you have 1,000 gold coins, but the gold is gone. Now this is a real asset, so we can't do that, but we liquidate the asset. We separate the value from the asset. Because in gold, the value is never separated. It all goes together into the gold coins. But because we can't do that, we have to separate the asset from the value. So the value is now in the tokens, not in the asset. So within the network, then the asset has zero value. Remember, this must work in a self-contained network. The asset, in order to provide the value, it has real-world value, always does. But on the network, how do we separate the value out? We can't. But we have a digital version of the asset, and from that we can separate out the value and create the tokens. So the digital version of the asset has zero value. The tokens have the value, and then that spreads out through the network. So now in life, what is the asset? Well, the asset is life. So first of all, we have to imagine life as a lump of gold. Then we melt it down and create gold coins. How do we do that? How do we do that? Well, first of all, the answer is no, we cannot do that, because how much gold would it need to represent life? Infinite gold. So you couldn't have an infinite lump of gold to melt down to represent life. So that's one reason you couldn't do it. But you could do it. You could do it in a limited sense. For example, this physical body has got a limited life. I don't know, I've got 100 years. I'm aiming for 150 at least, let's see. But anyway, that's a limited lifespan. So how much work, what could you do in that lifespan? Now, in a way, here's the trouble. There's an asset here. The asset is life. Now we've limited it to your one physical life. But still, how do you value it? We still have to decide, all right, it has a limited value. And we must value it in gold. So now we can have a lump of gold. And this is what they do. This is what they always did. But they've used it for their own advantage. You see, they take our birth certificate, our weight at birth, and value it in gold. It's been done for thousands of years. It's the basic principle. Now you turn that gold into money. But there is no gold, the asset is you. And the trouble is, these guys, the matrix, they have done it for us. They create it for us, they own it. So they value you in gold, but they really are the ones that own it and control it. So that, of course, is slavery. So on one side, we could say when you try to tokenize life, you are creating slavery. But on the other side, again, only now, I can't stress this enough, up until now, It has always been slavery. In this, by trying to do this, value life. At various levels, people have tried. Now we've got blockchain. They're trying to decentralize it. So essentially tokenize in a decentralized way. So that gives us true freedom. But the technology has not been sufficient. It does not quite work yet. And it has been, crypto has still been co-opted by the system. It's still part of the same system now, based on this trying to tokenize life. But only now in ENTIFY can we do it the other way round. We can now tokenize life for total freedom, personal autonomy. You tokenize life for yourself so that you can spend it. And really what this is credit as well. It means you promise to do a job and you will do that job with your life. But you need the money now. I need some tokens so that I can live. Listen, I promised to do it, but I got no money. No worries. Your life, we value it, we tokenize it, and then we give you those tokens in advance. But how do we value your life? Remember, we've got to think of it as a lump of gold. Well, here's the thing. We do not. Okay, we do not value your life. In ENTIFY, I would say life is infinite value, so we can't do anything about it. Even the smallest life, infinite value. So we can't tokenize life directly, but we can tokenize work. And we can tokenize promise of work. So that means a clearly defined use of life. So I will use my life force energy to do a job. Now that is a clearly defined use of it. So that we can tokenize. We're not tokenizing life, we're tokenizing the use of life, and it is connected to you, your personal identity vault. And that is unbreakable cryptography. So when you tokenize your life in this limited capacity, you do it yourself and you have absolute autonomy over it. Nobody can do anything with it except you. They literally are your personal money that you create. The only thing is, what is that personal money? It's gold. So quite literally, you are turning your life into gold at your own behest. I will do a job, and I value this job as 10 milligrams of gold. Now I create the money in advance, so that part of my life I must imagine is a lump of gold. So I have to sacrifice it now. Yes, I made a promise, I will do that work, so I must fulfill the promise. Remember, it only works if you fulfill your promise. We must have trustworthy people in the network, real living men and women who promise and keep their word. So again, this has to be done in a controlled way. If you break your promise, then next time you won't get credit because the whole network won't trust you so much. It's not a control mechanism. It's just ask any of them. Would any of you ones lend this person money again? He broke his promise. Everyone would say no. So it's not a government, it's not a law, it's just obvious. It's a self-sustaining credit score system. But there's no one keeping score, it's just obvious. If you don't fulfill your promise, your credit goes down. If you do, your credit goes up, and you can do it again. And again for work done. So maybe you do a job. So you do a work for the network. Now, this has got to be, again, here we go. Everything inside the network is for the users of the network. We create it, we validate it, we value it. We are the ones, all of us. So everything in there is decided by us. And we can do this because ENTIFY can provide 100% perfect decentralization cryptographically. Never been seen before. So we can have a perfect democracy. It's not a democracy. It's just a mathematical system that we can all talk to each other and we can all trust each other. So let's all get along. We have to. The system won't allow any crime. So criminals won't come in because they can't do anything. So because of that, our promises will be trustworthy. And again, they must be validated. So if you want a credit for a job, you have to go to the Allodial Reserve Private Trust Administration, outline your project, and then it's valued. How much is this project worth in the end to the network? How much money can we create for you in gold? How much of your life can we turn into gold so that the whole network agrees, yes, that's worth that much gold. We all must agree. And then we give it to you. Now again, this ultimately will be decentralised. So you apply for the job to the network and it goes out to lots of people like a questionnaire. This is the job, how much is it worth? And you vote. And then we find out a consensus. All right, we valued this job as this much gold. And you promised to do it, so we give you the money. Or if you have done it already, then we also pay you for the job done. Both ways. You get work and you get credit. All based on you tokenizing your life and turning your life into gold, but not your life, a little portion of it dedicated to a particular job. So the first job we're going to have, quite obviously, is going to be a helpline. You know, it's new technology. It should be very simple, but everyone's got some problems, so you want a helpline. So it's not like now on the computer. Now in ENTIFY, you talk to someone. So anyone in the network who's an expert can be a helpline operator. We've got a decentralized communication, meshnet, it goes everywhere, and it's free. So you just call up. And all that will happen is the first available help desk, helpline will open to you, hello. You chat with them, you get your problem solved, and then you click verify. Job done, satisfactory. It's a useful job for the network, therefore the network will pay money to the person giving the solution, to the help desk. But for you, it was free. The network is providing it for us. So the network, we know that is value, so the network will create the gold to pay for that value. Remember, ENT tokens that pay you are gold, milligrams of gold. So literally, if you work for the network, you are creating gold. But that gold only exists inside the network. And it's not real gold, it's value. It's real gold value. But you cannot take it out of the network because it does not exist outside of the network. Only real gold exists outside the network. Do you see? So that's why ENTIFY, the ENT tokenomics, will only work inside the closed loop network. Then it works. Inside that, we all validate the value and we validate the job. Again, how much you think this job should be paid. We all choose. Or you want to build a house. You want to build a house for yourself. You're going to live in it. It will be your house. No doubt. But still, that's a useful job. That's a useful job because a house is a real asset that will be tokenized and gone into the network. It will bring up the economy. So, even to build a house, you can get credit, free money. Because really what it is, I've already explained it. If you've got a house, the house is valued and you bring it to the network, then you get the tokens. But if you haven't got a house, you're going to build a house. You come to the Allodial Reserve and say, I want to build a house. I think this house is going to be worth 1 million tokens. So they say, yes, we agree. If you build the house, it will be worth 1 million tokens. You can have the tokens in advance. So you take the 1 million tokens and spend them to build the house. To all intents and purposes, you had a free loan, but it wasn't a loan. It was money given to you. You've had the tokens, the value of the house, before the house even exists. And it's still your house. You have to build it. You've got the money to build it now. It's your house, it's your money. But if you break that promise, at the end, here's the thing, at the end it must be validated. The network must know that house really exists now. So you come and check. Everyone checks. Yeah, the house is built, and they check the value. It might be, oh, now you've built the house, it's worth 2 million. So then we say, brilliant, your house is worth 2 million. Well, you've already had the first million tokens. Here's the second million. So now you get a second million tokens. So you've got your house, and you've now got another million tokens, and you spend them in the network. Remember, the money only works in the network. But this is so attractive. It's so attractive, everyone will jump on board this network. Then the economy will explode. We've got to make it like that. And don't forget free insurance. I've explained it. Go back and look at the last video. Free insurance is also possible with this end tokenomics model. Advantageous, mutually advantageous investments and insurance. And even mutually advantageous work done, you will be paid by the blockchain. There's no corporation, no company paying you. When you work for the network, you are creating gold from nowhere. That it's just done. You are doing it yourself. It's connected to your identity, and all of us in the network are other identities. All that it is we agree, yes, that gold you're creating is gold. We just agree. Oh, well done, you've created some gold. Come on, spend it in the network. That's what it is. The same with credit. Mutually advantageous credit. We'll give you the gold in advance because we all trust you. Hey man, or woman, go for it. Build the house. Go live in your house. Build yourself a farm. Whatever. Here's the money. Go do it. Because you did it. Your promise. You created the gold. From your promise, your consciousness, you must decide, I will build it. Then you must build it. This is a network for very high responsible people. Serious-minded. They will follow the natural law. But they don't want to be messed about. They respect privacy. There's no freedom without privacy. There's no point. Here's the problem. My value in gold is private to me. Nobody knows it. I create it. And I spend it as I like. But nobody knows how much I value myself, how much gold I create inside my private trust wallet. Do you see? So I hope this made sense. Thank you so much for listening. Please do leave me any questions, comments or suggestions, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Founders Journal.
We are the network.